Thank you, Presiding Officer. Social isolation and loneliness can of course affect anyone at any time in their life, and it's the responsibility of all of us to build a country where everyone feels welcome and valued in our communities. Scotland is leading the way as one of the first countries in the world to publish a national strategy on social isolation and loneliness. This strategy, backed by £1 million of investment over the next 2 years, is a step forward in tackling the issue. In preparing for this debate, I was struck by the call from Age UK for policymakers and researchers to be clear about the difference between loneliness and social isolation. They say on their website, loneliness is not the same as social isolation. People can be isolated, alone, yet not feel lonely. People can be surrounded by other people, yet still feel lonely. The distinction between these two concepts is often overlooked, which makes it difficult to understand what can help people reduce their feelings of loneliness. As the Minister said in opening, loneliness is a subjective feeling about the gap between a person's desired levels of social contact and their actual level of social contact. It refers to the perceived quality of a person's relationships. Loneliness is never desired, and lessening these feelings can take a long time. Social isolation is an objective measure of the number of contacts that people have. It's about the quantity and not the quality of relationships. People may choose to have a small number of contacts, and when they feel socially isolated, this can be overcome relatively quickly by increasing the number of people they're in contact with. Loneliness and social isolation are different but related concepts. Social isolation can lead to loneliness, and loneliness can lead to social isolation. They're different but can be experienced at the same time. Folk may feel different levels of social isolation and loneliness over their lifetime, moving in and out of these states as their personal circumstances change. They share many factors. Loneliness and social isolation also share many factors that are associated with increasing the likelihood of people experiencing each, such as deteriorating health and sensory and mobility impairments. Indeed, Inclusion Scotland pointed out in their brief social isolation and loneliness affects a disproportionate number of disabled people at all stages of their lives, from childhood to old age. So, Presiding Officer, quality matters because bringing people together to increase the number of social contacts they have is not an end in itself. Good quality, rewarding relationships are needed to combat loneliness. The quality of relationships people have in their life matters. It's really important. There are a number of groups in my Cunningham South constituency that provide just that quality interaction. I think I probably have time to mention one of them in particular. The Men's Shed movement began in Australia in 2005, and it centres on encouraging groups of men to get together around activities that you could find in a garden shed, from engineering to creative writing and everything in between, all in a way that benefits their health and well-being. This concept has taken off over the last 13 years or so, and today there are 67 open sheds in Scotland and 47 in development. I'm very pleased to say that we have one in Irvine, which is based at the Scottish Maritime Museum. And I spoke to Jamie, who's leading the development of the Irvine Harbourside's Men's Shed. And he told me the inspiration behind them beginning it there at the museum. He said that they currently had a dedicated volunteer base, and many of them were men, mainly ex-engineers. And they'd often cited loneliness and social isolation as a reason for volunteering. Now, the new Men's Shed project gave them the chance to offer all men, whatever their background, the opportunity to come together and learn new skills, to become more social, to get active, and in doing so, improve their mental well-being. A common phrase that's heard in sheds is that men don't talk face to face, they talk shoulder to shoulder whilst working or enjoying a hobby with their friends. Now, Jamie told me that was something that they'd observed and admired about their volunteer base, and they hoped that that camaraderie would continue in the Men's Shed. The Irvine group already has 20 to 30 men meeting every couple of weeks on a Thursday, and I really think that that number and size of folk participating in the group is testament to the quality of experience that the men are having. And friendships have been built and they socialise out with the group as well. There are demonstrable wider benefits to the Men's Shed movement, so as well as supporting individuals, local communities which have sheds can benefit from the projects that are undertaken, things like planters being made and Wendy houses for local nurseries, right through to commercial bicycle refurbishment schemes. So I really look forward to seeing Irvine Harbourside benefit similarly. Presiding Officer, I'll probably just close by saying that I'm proud that Scotland's leading the way with this strategy, and I look forward to hearing from everyone else about the other